Hi everybody, welcome to another session. Today we have HOGE or HOGE. Actually, I'm not sure what's proper pronunciation. We have Sam, who is the member of the elected leadership team. Sam, while we're waiting for people to get in, what's the proper pronunciation?
HOGE. You had
HOGE,
it right the
right?
first time. Yep.
Right. It's always the same as Doge or Doge. It's like no one knows what's it really supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, let's hang for one more minute. I'm seeing a decent amount of people already. Get a couple more in, and we'll start over the questions and everything.
Yep. Sounds good.
For those who are unfamiliar with the format, we will go over the questions from Twitter. I'll have about 10 or 11 of those. Then we will open the live chat. And as usual, for the best questions, we're giving up some pretty sweet rewards. This time, not only the HODGE itself, but also we will be giving up a music NFT. And yeah, let's just what is that NFT exactly? Because I'm not exactly sure what it is myself.
Yeah. So HOGE has something called HOGE Music, where community members got together and created some pretty badass songs. And the only way you can get a HOGE Music NFT is by winning it. So you can either participate in a contest or an AMA, and that's how we give them out for free. There's 11 songs.
Oh, so very limited.
Yeah, yeah, and then they're eventually going to put out a CD when they get to I think 15 songs.
That is pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Anyways, looks like we have a decent amount of people in here. Before we start off with the questions, could you briefly introduce us to yourself, what you do with the project?
Yep. So my name is Sam. I go by Sam underscore Mac 12 here on Twitter, but everywhere else I go by Jersey Racks. So I've been holding HOGE since March of 2021 and got involved in leadership in December of 2021. I do the Twitter AMAs called the wrap up reports every Friday where we go over updates, and I run the HOGE Twitter space, TikTok. I'm part of the
Cool,
elected.
cool.
There's 6 elected members to the HOGE leadership team. We're all volunteers, but the community elected us as like the front-facing team for the token.
Super cool. Yeah, since 2021 and it's 2023 already, and we've been knowing Hodge and partying together for a while. I think pretty much since 2021. Anyways, let's start off with the questions. There's a lot of those, a lot of good questions too. I want to learn more about Hodge Finance, but very little information. The community is relatively empty and little information is shared. What strategy does the Hodge Finance team have to develop the community and retain users for the long term?
Yeah, so I love this question. And from the outside, it may seem that way when in fact it's like the furthest thing from the truth. HOGE is built, managed, and maintained by its passionate holders. Cool thing, Coin Market Cap just released a new statistic for tokens that shows how long tokens remain in a holder's wallet on average. And the HOGE stat showed that 95% of the circulating supply has remained in the same wallet they were bought for over 12 months. So that's 95% of the circulating supply that hasn't moved in 12 months. So those are some dedicated diamond hand holders. But the reason I think this is true is because half are holding it for a lottery ticket play, right? With the hopes of being the next Doge, Shiba, or Pepe. But many are paying attention and see the constant building and development that is going on a donation budget and volunteer workforce. The community is kept up to date every single Friday from the Friday wrap up report we do every single week. We haven't missed a Friday in 19 months. And many would be surprised how much there is to actually go over each week. It really does amaze me how much is happening. Last week, we had over 730 people tune in to the wrap up report and listen. It's also posted on our Reddit page in written form, and the important ones get posted on the HOGE YouTube channel for faster listening. It's why we have survived the bear market and have developed such a strong community base of holders. I know like price is where it is because unless you're paying attention, we don't have marketing dollars to push the information out there to new ears. And if you're a holder that isn't tuning in like to the HOGE Twitter or Reddit or Telegram, you may leave and try and chase the next fancy meme token. So it's truly organically spread to this point, but the building hasn't stopped. And we believe price is the easiest thing to fix when you're fundamentally built like a tank compared to other meme tokens. So I would say if you are looking to stay up to date with HOGE, Twitter is the easiest. But if you want to join in the conversation, the HOGE Reddit is my favorite spot for the updates.
Cool, very cool. Yeah, I think Reddit recently is not getting enough attention as it used to be. For some reason, it's all shifted towards like Twitter and like Telegram or Discord. But Reddit remains my favorite. I think it's the best access to the information you can get, and it's less polluted, let's say, than Telegram or even Discord is.
Exactly. I think Reddit gets like a bad rep as being like a troll heaven, but in reality, like with the HOGE Reddit, we get a lot of conversation going, and that's how we get a lot of stuff accomplished. Like Telegram has become the troll spot, I think.
Oh yeah, Telegram has become a scam spot, if anything, at this point.
Exactly.
But there is still a lot going through Telegram. But yeah, Reddit, they've been really strict towards the crypto lately, and they have banned several accounts. They have banned our account, and we lost permanently, to be honest, StealthEX main account, because uh they just became a subject to a lot of US regulations, I guess. But anyways, let's continue with questions. The next one is, you guys commented HOGE is not only a deflationary currency, but also another 1% is distributed within each HOGE holder. Sounds pretty attractive, really, but is this totally viable over time?
Yes, that's a great question. Many people don't remember this, but HOGE was the first meme coin launched in February of 2021 with deflationary and auto staking tokenomics. It was the fastest growing ERC20 token in the history of Ethereum. And then you had hundreds of other tokens launched that made higher taxes, that went to marketing or devs or liquidity and tried to like copy the success of HOGE. But the HOGE tokenomics were and still are the simplest tokenomics to understand. When the HOGE contract got launched, the first action of the contract was to burn 50% of its supply. So it started with 1 trillion tokens, and on launch, 500 billion were burnt and 500 billion remained. Now, the HOGE smart contract has a 2% transaction tax. So that tax, every single time there's a transaction, there's a 2% tax, and that tax gets spread to all the wallets holding HOGE. So obviously the burn wallet counts in that holder count. So it initially launched with a 1% burn, a 1% redistribution. Well, now we're 2 years in, and we have burnt off another 20% of our entire circulating supply. So we have less than 40% of the remaining supply, and that goes down every single day. Now, the cool thing about that is the burn has now taken out of the 2%, 1.2% is now sent to the burn wallet, and that will continue to grow as time goes on, and 0.8% gets spread to all the other holders. One little fun fact about HOGE: when it was launched, there was no tokens allocated to the creators, no tokens for a whitelist, no save tokens. It was fair launched. And HOGE actually received a legal opinion in April of 2021 stating it was not a security based on the current Howey test. So that was a pretty major moment for HOGE and the way it's been launched. But that auto reflection, auto staking, you do not have to do anything else with the tokens. You just have to hold them in your wallet, and you get more HOGE in your wallet every single day. And there's less and less HOGE in existence every single day. The coolest thing about the reflections you receive, now some people call it auto staking, some people call them reflections, but it's based off the amount of tokens that you hold. There could be 1,000 holders. There could be 10 million holders. You will always receive the amount of reflections based on the amount of HOGE that you hold. And the coolest thing, it's driven by volume. So, doing 60K volume, this may not seem that important, but if we're doing $6 million in volume, your reflections and the burn magnifies. And if you go to HOGE.report, there's a really cool reflection calculator on there that you can mess with. Like, you can put in, if I hold 100 million tokens and we do this volume, how many reflections will I earn per day, per year, per month? So it's a pretty cool little thing to mess around with.
No, that is cool. And, in my opinion, simplicity is always the best. It's not confusing for the holders, not confusing for the investors, not confusing for anybody. Because you see some smart contracts and tokens, and it's like, yeah, we have this percentage allocated there, this percentage allocated there, this percentage allocated there. And it ends up being a slow rock pool. And they have like some percentage going to like marketing fees, yada, yada. And then it ends up being a big, not a very a good faith token. But yeah, simplicity is always, in my opinion, a most viable option.
Exactly
as
that. Like,
the
there's no wasted dev tax, no wasted marketing tax. But I forgot the most important part. Is it viable over time? The HOGE smart contract is renounced and is unchangeable for the entire remainder of HOGE's existence. So forever, there will be a burn and a reflection that nobody can mess with and nobody can change. That is set in stone.
Yep, that is definitely a positive in my world, and I think it should be one of the cornerstones of DeFi projects where if you go with it, you can adjust anything. You can make it for your own good later down the line. I think that's definitely a major point. Alrighty, let's continue on with the questions. You mentioned on your website that HOGE is Doge but DeFi. But is it really part of the same chain as Doge, only with decentralized features, or is it another completely different project?
I can see how some could get confused about this. And the original concept of HOGE was to feed off the meme hype and make a better version of Doge. But we are a completely separate project and do not have anything to do with Doge, and we are built on Ethereum. The Doge smart contract is mined and creates about 14 million new Doge tokens every day. So it's kind of like the US dollar. It keeps printing new tokens every day, and you need about $14 million to go into it to keep the price even. And clearly they get that, averaging like $300 million in volume a day. In the bull, I think they had around $700 million a day. Then you have Shiba Inu, that has quadrillions of a supply and was launched, so it would always look like the price was zero when it was listed on exchanges, so people could buy in and not really know what the price was. Each of these have their top couple holders holding over 60% of the tokens. HOGE is a completely different beast. We only have 397 billion tokens. That's less than 40% of our circulating supply left, and that decreases every single day. And like I said, you get more HOGE in your wallet just for holding it every day. We also boast one of the flattest wallet spreads in all of crypto, with the top holder holding only 2.5% of the supply. I just want people to realize what would happen if HOGE ever got $300 million in volume a day. There were days in the bull run of 2021 where we burnt over 500 million tokens in a day. And if we are burning that many tokens, that also means the smart contract has reflected 400 million tokens to its holders. So the supply shock with this type of volume would make HOGE last forever. People could simply live off the reflections they receive from holding HOGE, which is actually pretty wild to think about. But back to like the Doge but DeFi, our official tagline is "We mean business now."
Right. Now this is cool. And again, I want to come back to the simplicity, right? It's very, for me personally, right? I'm coming from a traditional economics, like you just said, supply shock, and I'm just like, yeah, that makes total sense. Like how this works, right? You get supply shock, and then this simple, super simple econ 101 goes in, and then there's supply and demand curves, and then you see how this all how kind of it all shifts into gears, and people just living off the reflections, which is right. It's pretty wild, but definitely I cannot disagree with the like how simple but effective and like right there was a word viable and viable like the kind of system is.
Yeah, it makes it super easy to understand. There's no tricks. There's no tricks with HOGE, which is
Right.
makes it fun.
All right, let's continue
Oh,
on
and
with the
all the
question.
HOGE is owned.
Yeah, sorry.
There is no like supply that's coming out. It's all owned by the community.
Cool. All right, the Doge tokens had a momentary success just because of the large investment of a billionaire. But while it remains stagnant, will HOGE be the same? Or creativity and dynamism of DeFi could keep it moving more in the market? Dynamism, is that real world even?
I mean, crazy what one or two tweets can do in crypto, right? That was a mind-blowing move and shows how easy and fast things can really move in crypto. The psychology of getting Doge to a penny was very strong. And with its supply back then, I think it had over a little 100 billion Doge coins. Now it has over like 140 billion tokens, and it's increasing. But many forget like how long it took that to happen. They were around since 2013. How crazy is that? And in a half a year, it went from a few 100 million market cap to a peak of about 86 billion. It just blows my mind to this day, but shows you that when you have loyal holders still building and talking about a token, how quickly the price can change. HOGE, like I've said, has completely different tokenomics. Again, less and less every day. You get more for holding that. I think you got to say things 3 times for people to remember. But this may not seem like anything on 60K volume, but 5 million daily volume, 50 million daily volume, 500 million daily volume like HOGE, Shiba, and Pepe would be absolutely mind-blowing for people to see. Not only are our tokenomics way better than those three, we also have the tools in place to keep the momentum going. So the cool thing about HOGE, it's an open source brand that allows any community member to build and do whatever they want with the token or brand. So nothing is predetermined. We have a lot of things currently built and in use, but the best part is at any moment, someone out of nowhere could launch a brand new utility that puts HOGE on the map. We have a community bet going on who will be the one to get HOGE to a penny. So if you're a builder and an idea person, HOGE is the ultimate DeFi playground that's backed by an unchangeable value-creating smart contract. You will have plenty of people ready to build with you and help out. It's truly a team effort, and what makes it so much fun volunteering to help HOGE. You get to bring your own value.
Right, right. And you know, right, especially for the new people out there, right? You guys started 21 when I think it was even like before the market was at this all-time highest, but then 2022, right? You guys kind of kept building and building, and comparing to other projects that kind of went under and no one hears about them anymore. You guys still the map. You guys still doing your own thing, and it's definitely always a green flag in my opinion.
Yeah, and again, that is done on a $0 budget. It's basically a donation budget and volunteer workforce. So think about that. We've kept the most loyal of us building, creating, developing without getting paid, just built on pure passion and the love of what HOGE stands for. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I cannot disagree with that. All right, the next question is up. What are the selection criteria and processes used by HOGE to select partners, investors, and collaborators that are in accordance with the vision and the mission? Thank you.
So that's the best thing about HOGE. The community decides what it wants to support and what it doesn't want to support. Sadly, HOGE does not have a budget to pay venture capitals or marketing companies or influencers. So that makes the decision easy for leadership. We get emails daily and partnerships offered to us, but again, we don't have the funds to pay them. So if you're a doer and you want to get involved with HOGE, You just got to do it. If you want to list HOGE, if you want to build something for HOGE, you can buy the HOGE, support your project, and the community will back it. We're all looking for value. We're all looking for utility. And we have a bunch of different things built by the community. But at any time, out of anywhere, one group, you saw what happened with Pepe, one group of influencers that build and are holding, the price is the easiest thing to change. And so don't get me wrong. We have had many things fail. We are known for failure, and that's not a bad thing. We are DeFi, and crypto is failure. There's a lot of stuff that gets built that is not successful. And the cool thing about having community is they will stick to the things that they support and that are bringing value, and the things that look fake or like a pump and dump or that don't actually have the community's best interest behind it, they'll end up failing because the community will just stop supporting that. So that's one of the coolest things about HOGE is we don't get to pick who we want to partner with. The partners get to pick us.
Yeah, that is so true about the the long term kind of viability. Just because projects are failing left and right doesn't mean the community is not supposed to be not supporting them. And right, we see projects with the right. You said not the community intentions in place in the first place, but if the community is supporting the project and if everything is transparent and simple, there should be no problems in the long term. And I think longevity is definitely something that is still lacking in crypto. And I'm glad to see a lot of projects, right, me being in crypto for plenty of years now, being more, staying in place, not going anywhere, and kind of here to stay, not just to pump and dump and just get some weird all-time high and just you never hear about them again.
Yeah, exactly. I've wasted more money trying to support HOGE initiatives because I was like new to crypto. And I was like, oh, these guys, they're definitely doing the right thing. And then it turns out like, damn it, just wasted some more money, right? If I would have just supported HOGE. So, it's pretty cool. The learning curve in crypto is steep, but, we've gotten a community now that understands what value is and like support the right things.
Right. The learning curve is still, I think, a huge problem, and I think a lot of new people in crypto, they just get tossed into it. They don't know any better. They throw their money at something. They don't understand, the core DeFi concept. And didn't you guys have some sort of HODGE, like university or some? I think I remember something, some educative you guys were doing like
Yeah, so
last
it's
year.
HOGE University. I think edu. That's still up. It hasn't been updated in a while, but it was a really good educational platform with short, quick, easy to understand videos about how to hold your wallet. I mean, how to create a wallet, how to buy, like simple things. So that's still in the background, but we haven't updated that in a while.
Yeah, so I'm not mistaken, but yeah, it's definitely I think the proper education that it kind of I think that kind of lies on us people who are already in crypto professionals, crypto enthusiasts, crypto projects to kind of educate newcomers. And but anyways, just for any listeners, it's your money, your crypto. Just always do your research. You wouldn't go to the shop and spend your money on something you don't want to. So just don't do the same with crypto.
And something I need to say, like every token probably gets attacked by hackers. And HOGE is a prime example. There's a group out there trying to get people to migrate their tokens. Always understand the HOGE contract is renounced. We cannot migrate. There will never be a migration. So don't fall for anything like that. Don't click. Sometimes they add an extra I in finance or something like that. So just always double check the main website and the main account.
Absolutely. And always, don't hesitate, don't be shy. Just go to the community, go to the official channels and just ask questions. If you see, admins or just other members of the community answering to you and just being nice and friendly, that's always a green flag. If you go somewhere, ask a simple question and you are being shamed or being banned, if not for the words, that's definitely not, it's either not a proper outlet or it's a not a good faith token. Alrighty, and let's get more questions out of the way. What innovative features or advancement does the HOGE project plan to introduce in order to differentiate itself from the other blockchain projects and maintain a competitive edge?
Oh, I love this question. The coolest part about this question is that we already have many of them built and active. HOGE has been blessed with a leadership member who's an absolute beast in fixing issues in DeFi, and he's focused on HOGE. His name is Rory, and he built our platform called OptiSwap.pro for the community. It has been truly amazing to watch this platform grow and develop its products over time. He got sick and tired of watching the HOGE community deal with the same problems every other token is dealing with. His first mission was to destroy front run bots and bad slippage. So we all know when you're buying a tax on transfer token, you either got to go to the Telegram to find out the tax or go to the website. And even then, sometimes that 2% tax slippage doesn't work. You got to go 2.5, 3, 4, depending on the volume. Well, OptiSwap.pro was created to prevent front running bots and messed up slippage. So OptiSwap is just an improved front end for Uniswap version 2 pools. So if you like to trade tax on transfer tokens, you know you got to go through the V2 pools of Uniswap and set your own slippage. So OptiSwap optimizes the slippage for you, so you never have to ask what's the slippage again. So your buys get you the maximum amount of money, buys and sells, than using Uniswap. So if you use tax on transfer tokens, OptiSwap has over 500 tokens listed on its platform, and they're all V2 pools. So you can go to OptiSwap, you never got to ask slippage again, and you can maximize your buys and sells. Not just that, he also got tired of watching pump and dumps. A tweet goes out, it gets pumped up, then it gets sold off. So he created something called OTCSwap.pro. OTC Swap is a wallet to wallet swapping platform where you suffer zero price impact. So as you all know, a lot of these tokens have low liquidity, and if you're making a big buy or sell during a pump, you may get 90% of your buy and lose 10% to slippage. Sometimes it's even crazier, up to 30% on slippage. So using OTC Swap.pro, you'd be able to swap transfer wallet to wallet. So someone looking to sell, someone looking to buy, instead of doing a swap, you're just transferring your tokens and suffering zero price impact. All you're doing is paying the 2% tax. So the cool thing about that is you can't, if we're pumping and the loyal community members want to sell, they can go to OTC Swap and that sell does not show up and kill the momentum of the token. Yet someone was able to get in and someone was able to get out without messing up the momentum. He then created a product called Group Buys. So Group Buys was a way of the community buying the token at the exact same price. So we would set a goal of 5 ETH, 10 ETH. We had our largest go to 42 ETH. So the entire community pitched in. It didn't matter if you pitched in 5 ETH, 1 ETH, 0.01 of an ETH. You all bought HOGE at the exact same price through the group buy. So when we were doing small group buys, that was fine because we would pump the price 10, 15%, and no one was really selling into it. But then we had a goal. Someone wanted to see a massive group buy of 42 ETH, which was very bullish and very exciting that the community raised that. And this was back when ETH was like $3,000. So it was like $75,000 buy. But as soon as it went through, it was sold into immediately. And a lot of us knew it was going to get sold into, but like the way it got sold into within like 30 seconds, it like squashed all the momentum we got from that bullish community achievement. That single moment led Rory to create something called Group LP. This is by far our most successful product. Group LP is a way to create liquidity by gamifying the process. So let me just explain this pretty quickly. Any token that's listed on Uniswap can use Group LP. You have a community member come forward that wants to launch a campaign. They pick 3 things: the amount of HOGE they want to lock up, the duration of the lockup, and how long they can fundraise for. So let's just say, actually, the one that just filled this morning was 1 billion HOGE to be locked up for 2 years, and we had 30 days to fill it. So any community members can then supply the ETH side. So that holder supplied 1 billion HOGE, and the rest of the community have to match that amount of money in ETH. Once those two are even, the liquidity tokens are purchased, and then you go back to the OptiSwap, and actually, you go back to Group LP, and that is placed in something called an OptiVault. So an OptiVault is a soft lock for 2 years. The cool thing about OptiVault, it's not like, it's a soft lock. So if you ever need that funds, you can come back and just take it out. The problem is you pay a 20% fee. So let's say HOGE 3X's and you want to get your profit, you want to take it out. You're gonna be able to take your LP tokens out, but you're paying a 20% fee to all the remaining campaign contributors that hold for 2 years. So you see your yield jump when people withdraw early. So it makes the other people want to hold for the full 2 years because their yield jumps. So we've had campaigns go from a 4% yield all the way up to a 20% yield. And the cool thing about an OptiVault yield is doesn't vary. It's paid that moment. So if you hold for 2 years, you know you're guaranteed that 20% yield no matter what. And if anyone else pulls out within that 2-year period, you're going to see that yield keep jumping higher and higher and higher. So we are currently raising our liquidity like no other token in DeFi. So it makes it kind of pins diamond hands against paper hands. If you can hold for the full 2 years, you're going to get that guaranteed yield. But if you need the money and we do a 100x and you want to get out, you can get out with no penalty. I mean, with no your tokens aren't locked; they're soft locked. So it gives you that ability to kind of bet on HOGE and ETH long term, but at the same time not risk having them permanently locked up. And then the last thing, he got tired of watching HOGE pay thousands of dollars to market makers. So OptiSwap now has OptiFlow, which is a market making service. That market making service charges $600 a pair. So if you're a dev or part of a community and you know they're paying thousands of dollars per pair per listing, that adds up very quickly. And that can take a lot of that fake tax budget that the community could use elsewhere. So he built a market making service that HOGE utilizes, and we get ours done at like $350 a pair. So those tools are already out there and active for any token listed on OptiSwap to use. I don't know if I explained Group LP and OptiVaults perfectly right there, but it's a fun, easy way to create liquidity for your token.
Wow, that's a lot, and it's very cool. It's not just selective to HODGE. It's just pretty much for and it's for ERC tokens, correct? The like only ERC tokens can utilize those instruments.
Exactly. He's not the biggest fan of BSC.
I can see why. But no, this is definitely fascinating. I like the OTC. So it's basically sort of a P2P solution that kind of mitigates the market fluctuations during the times of either
it
pumps
takes
or
out
downs.
the trust me bro moments. Like, you send me this, I'll send you this. Like, over the counter trades, it makes it trustless.
That is cool. That is cool. That is definitely that. I think we should see more of that in DeFi when it's pretty much a true P2P rather than what we see with the and this. There was a lot of word slippage going on, and I have not been using much DEXs, much bridging lately, and I'm just like, wow, it kind of brings back some not the most pleasant memories when you try to do something and then you're like, well, what the hell is that? Why am I losing 10% of my transaction? What's going on?
Oh yeah, it's wild out there.
Absolutely. All right. I'm gonna omit the next question just because we pretty much answered this earlier. And what about the revenue model of HODGE Finance? How you generate revenue? Hashtag HODGE.
Yeah. um Yeah, so that's the cool thing about our use cases. Like OptiSwap is by far our most successful revenue generator. Each token that chooses to use the OptiFlow service knocks down our market making fees. And then the volume that goes through OptiSwap is what has allowed him to develop all these new products that solve HOGE's issues. So obviously, HOGE deals with the same issues as every other token. And that's kind of like why HOGE gets to test drive all these products first and why we're still around. It's maximize the money that goes into HOGE and out of HOGE. No bots are stealing money anymore. And we're not wasting all these thousands of dollars to market makers. We can maximize that. And then we do have a product coming out called the multi-DAO, which is going to be a game changer. I meant to answer that in that question before, but the multi-DAO we think is going to be a massive, imagine a Uniswap for DAO creation. It allows you to govern your token in a customizable, unique way. It uses soul-bound tokens that create trust in a community. So the way soul-bound tokens work is that if you do this action, a soul-bound token gets minted to you that shows you did that action, and that token cannot be moved or changed. It's just a way of developing trust in the community. Let's say you need a web designer and they did that website. They get that soul-bound token that shows this is their work and they actually did this by action. And then there's a crowdfunding thing through MultiDAO where you can get things funded in a trustless way. You can propose whatever campaign you want. Like, I want this influencer to talk about HOGE for $1,500. If the community thinks that's a valuable ad, they can fund it and get it funded. And then once that's actioned upon, they get paid the $1,500. So there's a bunch of different ways of creating revenue. But right now, and we have a merch store. We have HOGE.store, which is a merch store where a portion of the sales go back, but that's not super popular at the moment.
Right. Well, very cool that you mentioned the soulbound tokens because it's pretty new, and I don't think it will ever get a lot of traction just because it's not a revenue stream, which is crypto notorious for. But that's one of my, I don't know, definitely one of my favorite concepts lately. Then this is a token that is non-transferable, not fungible, and it's just there to stay, which is like a certificate or a document, pretty much.
Yeah, birth certificate, driver's license, like all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But the way he's thinking about it, the guy that's creating it, HOGE historian, he's like, how do we create trust in a community? How do we know this person is who they say they are? So by doing actions and performing, actually performing that, you get minted it to show that that person is who they say they are, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, well, basically, it's sort of an ID recognition without requiring an actual, ID.
Yes.
Alrighty, let's keep going. We have a couple more questions, and then we'll open up the live chat. I'm a software engineer and also a big fan of HOGE Finance. So how do I become one of the HOGE Finance or a HOGE Finance member? What requirements do you guys have for startups when they enroll in HOGE Finance Incubation Program?
Yeah, so we have pretty strict requirements. I'm just joking. It's all about passion, my friend. If you want to do it and you want to get involved, you simply just reach out. You can reach out to anyone in leadership. You can go to Telegram. We are very active in there. People have been stepping up weekly, daily. Like, we have an entire marketing room that we actually just passed the vote to actually finally have a marketing budget. That literally passed today at 12. Well, hopefully it passes in the next 20 minutes, but we hit quorum. So we're finally getting a marketing budget of 26 grand with 5 different initiatives that the community proposed and were the most popular. So they got put into the vote, and then the community could pick which of the 5 they wanted to vote for. And if it ended up with over 50% of the votes, it got funded. So if you want to get involved in the marketing end and you have an idea, like, ideally, I could see a small marketing company that wants to put their name on the map using HOGE as its use case. Like, OptiSwap uses HOGE as its use case. Like, if you want to show what you're doing and you can build a brand, the HOGE community is here. The tools are in place. You just have to do it. That's all it is. So like passion, you're not going to get paid. You're going to pay yourself by investing in HOGE and bringing the value you think you can bring. And that's why we are who we are. And I get it. Our price is where it is, but it's allowing us to build our liquidity up and the supporters to grow their positions even stronger. So I would say passion is the main requisite, and the dedication to kind of pay yourself and bring your own value.
No, I love that motto. Just pay yourself and bring your own value. It kind of mitigates and disengages a lot of uh, people who try to quickly get in and out, who just trying to, get a quick profit and nothing to do with the project. It's definitely something that's more aimed for longevity rather than for quick returns, which is definitely still to this day, unfortunately, not the most popular concept in crypto. But that that I wish there was more of that around going on.
Yep, and that's why it's so much fun, because like once you're in the room with the doers of HOGE and the people that are building, like you see it and you get what's happening. The only issue is we haven't had a dollar to push out the information, the news, the products, and we're not worried about that. Like we're testing the products, we're making sure they work, and they're built. So like as soon as we're able to get that marketing budget, which again hopefully just passed in the next 15 minutes, the fun gets to start.
That is cool. Well, by the end of this session, we will know for sure.
Yeah, right.
All right, we have two more questions left, and then we're going with the live ones. And feel free to take as many as you want, because we're getting kind of short of time. It says HOGE is built, managed, and maintained by its community. What does it actually mean, and what has the community built so far?
Yeah, so that's the coolest thing about HOGE is we're governed by a community DAO. We have had 7 successful DAO votes to date. Like I said, I stepped up in leadership in January of 2022. And out of the 26 people in there, 6 of us stepped up to be the front-facing leadership team. We wrote out a community constitution, and we put it to a vote. And the community voted in the 6 leaders and the community constitution that which we are governed by. So the constitution can be found on our website. You can go to the DAO and click on the votes and look at the votes. But what it does, it just allows leadership to action the results of the votes that the community puts out. So we're able to take the feedback from our community, and if it's a popular trend, we can put it to a vote, and then the community can vote to pass it or to not pass it. This is pretty wild. This is how the contract got renounced. This is how leadership structure got set up. It's completely volunteer. None of us are paid to do this for HOGE. We're just there to give the proper information, because a big problem with HOGE in 2021 is we had some bad actors that would pump a tweet out and sell on that pump and make promises that never came through. And we just got sick and tired of that. And we wanted to clean up the information and make sure everything was accurate by voting in the proper people that you can trust to give you the accurate information. But what we have built, and this is probably the coolest part, obviously I explained OptiSwap.pro and its suite of products, ranging from liquidity creation to market making. We are creating our liquidity like no other token. I can't stress that enough. And let me just say that real quick, because Dex Tools is not going to show the liquidity as locked because of the way it's locked. It's soft locked, but just keep in mind it is locked, and people aren't going to sell when they have a 30% yield. So, just keep that in mind. We have a GitHub website that allows any community member to make pull requests, to request changes or adding information they feel is important. So even the website is community maintained. HOGE Music that I talked about in the beginning has 11 absolute bangers. You can win an NFT today. And if you tune into the wrap-up reports, normally the first 4 minutes is a HOGE Music song. So you get to hear that before and get you in the zone. HOGE.report. So if you want to get all the information you need, go to the website HOGE.report. It was made by community member Zarko and is one of the slickest token dashboards you will ever see. It has all the information you could want about HOGE in one spot. I recommend adding it to your favorites. One of the coolest products we have being built is HOGE AI, a text to image generator, which is being built by a community member, Pump Guard Alex. If you scroll through the HOGE Twitter or in the HOGE Telegram, you will see the evolution of these images and the insane amount of different styles it will offer. Currently, it's in the testing phase with a small group of people that get to test and create these images. But very soon, because he was one of the 5 parts of the marketing vote, it will be live for the entire community to use and to mean business with. We have a merch store. You can go to the website hoge.store that has 9 different clothing options. HOGE Fantasy for community members into fantasy sports and contests around sports. A number of community artist NFT collections. And we actually had an entire land built in NFT worlds that's built on top of Minecraft called the Land of HOGE. Community member Zembach put a close to $60,000 into building this for the community with brands ready to mean business. And then sadly, Microsoft shut it down. They shut down any implementation of NFTs on top of Minecraft. So now it's just a survival multiplayer game in Minecraft. But if you walk around it, you could see the potential of what this could have been for a revenue stream for HOGE. And the last thing the community is waiting for, and might be the biggest difference maker besides obviously all the things that OptiSwap does, is the multi-DAO platform. That is a customizable governance platform.
So that is a lot, and it seems like how it should be. With DAOs, community has all the power, which is definitely how it should be in the true DeFi sense of it.
Oh, and let me just say this. So it depends on how long you've been in crypto, but you may remember HOGE had raised $500K for a top 5 exchange. It's kind of like why we hit this all-time high for a second time. But then that offer, I guess, was not real or was not on the table, and the listing never happened. And then the bear market hit in December. Well, the cool thing was the HOGE community still had that 500K, and it's raised for a specific purpose, and that money cannot be used unless the community votes on using it for something else. So that was in, again, the community constitution. Well, January 6th of this year, the community voted to transfer some of the stable coins into a HOGE position. So currently, at our low price right now, the HOGE community owns $90,000 in HOGE. So every 7 million market cap, we are now going to earn $90,000 into that budget that can be used for marketing, for venture capitals, or whatever other things the community wants to see in the future. But most of the funds are going to be used for when a top 5 exchange wants to list HOGE. Like, that's why they were fundraised for. But because we're waiting and they're not going to list us with our volume the way it is, we are now just put a vote together to repurpose $26,000 of that for 5 marketing initiatives that, again, like I said, might pass today. So the cool thing about HOGE is we don't currently have a budget, but if we get a pump and our price continues to go up, we're going to have a budget forever. And it was thanks to that vote that the community wanted to see the funds get put to work for HOGE.
That is cool, and just what I said earlier. Definitely, what a true DeFi should be. Community gets to decide what's going on with the project. Ultimately, that's definitely not something you see every other project. It's definitely something, in my opinion, more unique rather than not. Even though everyone claims being a DeFi and DAO, definitely not true for all of those. All
No
right,
tricks with HOGE. No tricks with HOGE.
yeah. As you said early on, simplicity. This super simple contract that was renounced is definitely one of the major keys, in my opinion. All right, we have one more question left, and then time for some live ones. I think we can take a few. As a long-time holder and a member of the leadership team, what are you most excited about for the future of HOGE?
Yeah, so clearly I bleed HOGE. I love this token and what it stands for. Um, the the most exciting thing is that nothing in crypto is predetermined. People are still doubting Bitcoin and what it's going to be in the future. Like, think about that. There are millions of people that are doubting Bitcoin as what it is. But when you look at crypto and what's happening, it's faster, smarter tech. If you believe Ethereum is going to be here for another bull run or two, HOGE is not going anywhere. And because we're open source and it allows anyone to build whatever they want, I really can't see us going lower than, where, even if we go down to 5 million market cap, who cares? Like the the tokenomics doesn't change. It's so early in crypto. You see how fast things move, and price is the easiest thing to change. At any moment, a group of whales, a marketing team can come in and decide, you know what? Let's take this bad boy to the moon, right? So, I'm most excited about the stuff that we don't know. And again, overnight this thing can change, and that's like the funnest part about it. So if you're not involved in HOGE or you don't have any, I'm not, not financial advice, but if anything I said today makes sense, and it's, if you believe like doing the right thing will eventually pay off, that is what HOGE stands for, and that is why we're still around. So that's what I'm excited about.
Though being around is definitely one of the most exciting things. All jokes aside, but anyways, yeah, let's get some live questions going on. Let's get someone in who's been here since the beginning. I see some hands, see some requests, and again, feel free to take as many as you want. I have some time left. I'm not rushing anywhere. That is my last thing to do today. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Lucifer OOX. I think you're the speaker. That guy has been around since like been one, I think. You can speak now.
Hello.
Hello, yes, you are audible. We can hear you.
Okay, thanks for this opportunity. So, can I ask my question?
Yeah,
Yes,
go
yes,
ahead.
please go ahead.
Okay, so I saw that HOGE milestone of 20,000 of HOGE holder is simply amazing. So, I am also interested in joining the HOGE holder gang. So, where can I buy HOGE token, and also do you have any bonding mechanism?
So the first part, how do you buy HOGE? So if you go to our website, there's a buy button right at the top that takes you to OptiSwap. So OptiSwap is by far the best place to buy HOGE. You get the most for your money. Then you don't have to worry about slippage. You don't have to worry about anything else. It optimizes it for you. So you can go to OptiSwap.pro and buy it through there. You can also find it on Whitebit and Gate.io if you're on those exchanges. But when you buy on an exchange, you don't receive the reflections. And if we're also on Pancake Swap on the BSC side, again, the BSC side does not receive reflections, but obviously BSC is cheaper on gas. So if you're trying to, trade a little bit, maybe you can buy on there. But the liquidity is much lower on BSC. And what was the second part of your question?
Do you have any bonding mechanism?
Binding mechanism. So I'm not sure what that exactly means, but the tokenomics work automatically. You do not have to stake your tokens. You do not have to put them in any kind of protocol. You just hold them in an ERC20 wallet, and you're automatically going to receive more HOGE in your wallet. You don't have to do anything with your tokens.
Okay, thank you. Got it.
Yep, no problem.
Thank you for your question. And don't forget, you can also buy it on StealthEX. Especially if you're trying to bridge, if you want your Bitcoin or let's say any BSC token or any other token, you can just go there. And I think we solely have the ERC option there, so you will be able to get the rewards that are bound to you. All right,
Yep.
let's get some more questions. And I think this guy has been here for quite some time. Eddie, ADM33, you're up.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but there's a little wind.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a little wind. That was a lot of wind. I'll just get someone else on because that's definitely not pleasant for everybody here. All right, Favor, you're up.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
You have a question there, Favor?
So my question is, what are some of the sustainability plans
Hello?
you put in place for the project?
Can you please?
My question is, what are some of the sustainability plans you put in place for the project in order to ensure the long term of the project?
Hey,
I think it was.
yeah, go ahead. Can you?
I think it was. I don't know. I think it was stability, liquidity. I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
The question is, what are some of your sustainability plans for the project?
Okay. Yep. Yeah. So sustainability is, the tokenomics. We have a one right now. It's 1.2% burn on every transaction. So that makes there's less and less out there. Plus, you get more for holding it. So the loyal holders constantly getting more in their wallet, and there's less and less HOGE out there. But the coolest thing is the liquidity. So HOGE had voted in on that January 6th vote to repurpose some of the funds, a $50,000 Group LP incentive program. So the way that worked, on every Group LP campaign, the HOGE DAO wallet would supply 40% of the ETH. Then once that completes, we would early withdraw that and create a yield for all campaign contributors. So those yields have ranged from 4% all the way up to 20%. And they're all 2-year locked. So that means in 2 years, when these unlock, the LP is spread over hundreds, hopefully in the future, thousands of wallets. And as long as we continue these, it'll keep going for 2 years. So as far as stability goes, we are spreading our liquidity through hundreds, hopefully thousands of different wallets, all holding a small portion that unlocks at different times in the future. So, like I said, it's being built. The liquidity is being built like no other token in DeFi.
Thank you for your question, Favor. All right, let's get a couple more in, or as many as you want. Evan, you're up.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so my question is, beside the 1% of hope to hope that is burned with each transaction, other 1% apart of it is shared among holders. So according to this design, will it ever happen that the supply will enough to not being able to cover the sharing?
So the way that works, there can never be. You're always going to be burning 2% of 100%. So you're going to burn 2% of 98, 2% of 96. Like it never changes. So there could be in the future there could be 100 HOGE coins left, but those HOGE coins could each be worth $10 billion. So just like Bitcoin, you're not going to, in the future, you might not be buying whole HOGE coins. You might be buying portions of a HOGE coin. Now that will take very long. Don't get me wrong, but there will be no time where there's going to be zero HOGE coin, if that was the question.
Yes, understood, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. No problem.
All right, thank you, Evan, for the question. How many more you want to take, Sam?
I'm good. Another 5-10 minutes. No big deal.
Let's get one or two more and see where it takes us. Like Abdullah 678789, you're up now.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Am I audible?
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me up to speak. Actually, my question is that I want to know is your company hiring or planning job opening for talented individuals? If so, what are the requirements needed? And how are you expanding in size and technologies? That's my question.
Yeah. So currently, like I said, we do not have a budget for hiring, but at any time, if you want to get involved, like you're basically at this price, you're going to buy your HOGE position. And then if you think you're going to bring your own value, you'll know you're technically paying yourself because you can bring value that brings the HOGE price up. So we don't have a budget to hire. Could that change in the future if we can grow these funds drastically and pay people, $1,000 a month or, something like that? That could definitely be something that the multi-DAO covers with their crowdfunding campaigns. But as of right now, we are not hiring, but we are looking for skilled, passionate developers that want to make a mark and have an imprint on the HOGE brand.
Wow, okay. How can I reach you out? How can I reach out? How can we reach you out, guys? Can I
So
follow your social links like Discord, Telegram, etc.? Any
yep.
social link?
So yep. Yeah. So you can go to hogefinance.com and scroll down. All the official links are listed down there. And then you can email at hoge.team. Any questions or any proposals that you have, they get seen by the entire leadership team. But you can go to the social platforms. I'm at Jersey Racks, so you can find me. It's easy to find me on Reddit. You can always post and just ask, and we'll answer you right on Reddit and get you into a private room to talk out whatever you want to get involved into.
Wow, I will do that as soon as possible. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Awesome to have you.
All right, thank you. All right, I think we've done it. Kind of got a little bit over, but that's totally okay. Well, Sam, it was a pleasure having you on here. Thank you for a reminder what a true DeFi should look like. That's sadly not always that easy around.
No,
But yeah, thank you for.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
really.
go on.
No, I was gonna say I appreciate you guys having us on and letting us recap and update your community because, like I said, we haven't been able to push out information. It's organic, friends telling friends, family members telling family members. And that's how we've survived the bear market. But we are about to get a little bit of a marketing budget here, so if this entices you at all, you can get in at what we see as like the absolute floor and be the legend of your friends and family. We say build the community you want to see around you, so get the people in that you trust to that are going to support HOGE and help you build what we expect to be a DeFi game-changing brand. And thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming on, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who have been refreshed with HOGEs because you guys, right, have not been sort of in the mainstream lately. But definitely, I myself has never forgotten us because you guys, always been friendly, always been a true DeFi what it should be. Anyways, let's give the man a round of applause real quick. Definitely, Sam deserves that. Alrighty. Well, thank you for coming on, and thank you for the listeners for listening for us.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for all the questions.
All right. Bye-bye.